Welcome, everybody. Appreciate everyone taking the time to jump on the webinar. Really pleased to have Paul Findlay with us from ReachLX. Today we'll be talking about how people make plans happen. But yeah, Paul, would you like to introduce yourself and have a chat about what you do?
Good day, man. Yeah, thanks so much. Super excited to be here. Thanks I always love our chats. I'm looking forward to having one about this stuff that we're both so passionate about. So what Reach does is it equips leaders with tools for every step of leadership. And the reason you and I have the partnership that we've got is because your platform provides the leadership or the organization with the way to do strategy, planning, task allocation, and all that cool stuff. And my platform helps leaders understand how to select the right people, delegate the right people, keep them engaged, and keep them so that they both can and want to execute the plan, right? And so I think it's a perfect thing to bring together. And that's what we do. Is what the Reach platform does is help leaders be equipped for every step of leadership. And if you hear that saying, right, where when you move into leadership, you move off the tools.
Yeah, exactly.
It's weird, right? We that saying exists for a few reasons, but one of them is because when we move leaders from their normal role and promote them into a leadership role, we don't give them any tools for leadership, and we give them something like an Empiraa where we can delegate tasks, and that's critical, right? That's the thing we have to do. But beyond that, we give them authority, we give them an obligation to give feedback, and some out-of-date job descriptions. And that's about it. But there's a lot more to being an effective leader than that. And so I think it's such a fun thing to be able to bring the core thing of we're organized, we have a plan, and we can delegate the tasks. And now we can have people that actually want to follow through on it. So yeah, I'm super excited, man.
Nah, man. Look, appreciate it. And look, obviously our partnership is only still new, but we're definitely really getting into as many opportunities as we can with obviously the leadership that you're working with. But I find it really interesting where a lot of myself included in previous roles where I was promoted as a leader and was never provided the tools of the trade, so to speak, when it came to any mentoring or coaching or a support mechanism that would be behind me to let me facilitate my role, right? It was like pretty much, here you go, now start dishing out mentoring, coaching, support, dealing with all kinds of HR issues and whatever the case may be. And I was ill-equipped, right? And I think it's so important for leadership to have leadership around them.
Yeah. So give me. Let's see if you're how close to average you are, right? In this one particular thing. I know you're clearly a superstar, but in this one thing, let's see how close to average you are. How long do you reckon it is on average between a person getting their first role as a leader and their first leadership development opportunity?
I'd say 12 months.
12 months, man. You are clearly working for an organization that's got strategy and vision and knows what good execution looks like. On average, it's about 10 years.
Wow.
And it's amazing. I talk to so many people and a lot of them go, well, I've been in leadership for 35 years or 20 years or 15 years, and I've never had anything. So, but here's the thing, right? It's not funny when I ask you about leadership development, it doesn't sound like I've said the wrong thing. It doesn't sound like I should have said leadership training, right? Because even when we give people, the difference between development and training is that training is being taught how to use tools for your job, right? So you go to, AWS training, or you go to software development training, or you go to, Excel training or something where you learn how to use a tool. In leadership, the best thing we give people 10 years later is development, which means you're learning about concepts and ideas, but you're not actually getting a tool or being taught how to use it. Tell me something. You were saying that you had that job where you got put into leadership and you didn't get given any tools to use. Did you love your job, or did you find yourself some of the time going, man, I hate like managing people?
Oh, look, yeah. So the scenario was I worked for a large call center and as a consultant, and I had an opportunity to that presented itself just through necessity, where one time I started taking escalations on behalf of my fellow team members, and I was disciplined after the fact from management because I shouldn't have done that. I should have just sat in my chair and taken my calls when there was no support for the team. Anyway, took my
Isn't
whooping
that
and
crazy in its own right? Like you've got the proactive person that's filling the gaps, and it's like, just do your job. It's like
yeah,
crazy, right?
exactly right. And but I took it on board, and the same scenario happened again. And I'm like, you know what? I've got nothing to lose. This is probably my one shot to prove that I actually have the ability to do this, management role. So I did it again, and I got called in the office, and they're like, you can listen, but we see something in you. Clearly, there's a necessity there. We're going to give you an opportunity to be a leader in the company. Cool. What do I do? When do I start? Well, just keep doing what you're doing now. You know how to take escalations. And, once every week, you're going to give your QA to all the staff that's going to be in your team. And you're going to do one-on-ones, and you're going to start coaching these people. And I'm like, cool, I'll take the opportunity because, I'm 22 years old and it's a pay rise and whatever, it's an opportunity. But I've had no support. And I was now, giving feedback to people who saw me as a peer, not as a leader. And I had to circumnavigate the whole imposter syndrome, making sure that these people still liked me because I was with them day in, day out. But I didn't have the tools to really grasp what I was doing, nor support of the business. But I had this immense pressure now to live up to a certain expectation that was set. I wish I had a tool like what you do and the service that you provide to leadership to actually empower them to get me through that journey where instead of being fearful and it was a daunting experience and I was chasing my tail and, what am I doing in this situation, to actually be having an empowering platform that will be pushing me and guiding me through that journey. I think it's really powerful for what you do for management to actually give them that opportunity to succeed.
Yeah, totally, man. Thanks. It's a weird thing where pretty much every leader comes across the same, forecastable challenges at each step, right? So they want to build their team. They're going to hire a new person. Even if you've got a really big HR team or a recruiter that does that, you still get in the final interview and have influence or final decision making on the final person that's hired, right? So regardless of whether it's a small business or a mega corporation, you find yourself making hiring decisions. And then you're this new person in your team. And it's like, what do I do? Like, how do I make them get along with everyone? Like, and then it's like, oh, gee, I've got people not showing up. I've got people not being, just putting in the minimum. How do I make them want to work? It's like, there's so many of these steps, and it's predictable with the same pain and the same steps across the employee life cycle for all leaders, and yet it's just not done. So funny. I had some similar journeys, but I also had the experience where I didn't really know what I was supposed to be doing. Right, I didn't have clarity on the vision or the mission of the company. This is in 3 different companies across different industries in my younger days, right? I didn't really know where we were going. I was just got told, here's your job. You're a sales executive. Here's your car. Here's your keys. This is the market. Here's your budget. Go. Right. I'm like, all right. And I did good. Like but just kind of winged it. And I left, right? Because I didn't know. I got some good commissions and whatever. And I'm like, I know there's nothing here for me, because I didn't know the mission, the vision, or how I contributed to any of it. And I think I got feedback, like meaningful feedback, probably twice in 4 years, about 5 years,
Wow.
about whether I was actually contributing to anything other than my own budget. And it's just, so I would have loved to have been in workplaces that gave the clarity that you guys give, right? So the people know what their role is, know what they've got to do, know what no one is going to be done by. And actually have these specifics, and it's just so many places still don't have it.
No. And you look at it like that's where, our partnerships are not just, announced and they're not meaningful, right? There's definitely a hand in glove scenario when it comes to all of our partnerships, and especially for us, right? Because you can imagine you're a business owner and you want to start getting off the tools, sharing your overall plan with the team, right? You've empowered your team through, I'll just say they've utilized your platform, right? And you've taken them and their leadership team through the journey, right? So they're better for it. They've got tools and now they're equipped and they can start executing. And then they implement a tool like Empiraa, which gives complete clarity to the team, right? That business planning, that execution, everyone gets a massive boost when it comes to morale because they actually see what they're doing. They know what they're working towards. They got complete vision of the vision, right? And it just creates a massive level of empowerment for the team. So definitely plays into our strengths completely. So I've got a bit of a slide deck, which I've put together with some of our key screen grabs of the platform. So I'll share that with everybody now. This is our My Hub page. So the My Hub page gives you the ability for the whole team to see where the plan is at, right? So all the founder has done is build out their vision, their values, their pillars of growth, and now it's time for the team as a whole to start executing against that plan, unlocking the founder's vision and bringing it to life. So as you can see in this slide here, we've got your Empiraa level, the achievements that you've earned, and the newsfeed. But as you drop down, you can see what a good plan really starts to look like, starting with the organizational pillar, and then all the objectives you can build out underneath. So as you can see, for instance, we've got our sales and marketing pillar, and then all the objectives you can build out underneath. So increase sales revenue, expand product offering, improve customer retention, your sales figures. You can assign them a due date, and how are you going to track that? Are you tracking that as a financial, as a metric, or have you just level of completion, 0 to 100%? But at its core, what it does, it unlocks the founder's vision, gives the team purpose, and you can start executing against the top line pillars that you've set in the platform. This really leverages the ability that we spoke about previously in relation to management have their goals and they have their achievements that they need to achieve. But then how are you going to bring that across to the overall team? Give them purpose, show them what they need to do to contribute to the overall success of the business, right? So jumping over to the next slide, you can see how you can start tracking complete visibility over the plan. You can see you can track by quarter, by month, or even by week. Give you the ability to see when the objective is due, what the run rate is, how far along the objective that you've achieved, and what you've done in relation to that. Also, we've got a really cool feature in the platform where you can collaborate with your team purely around each objective that you've been assigned to, right? So as you can see here, we've got the little message log on the left-hand side. This allows collaboration within the team. You can also leave some notes within the platform or even upload some files to back up any of the data that you've put into the platform as well. This creates detailed and harnessed conversation purely around that objective, not getting lost in Slack chats or email trails, really detailed and harnessed conversation in that objective alone. As you knock off your objectives, you get to celebrate your wins, right? But what it does really, it creates complete clarity around the plan, gives the team their purpose, but you can also see what's working, what's not, what you need to change, what's something that you need to implement long-term because it's working, or something that you need to pull back because it's just not working. But what it does gives the management team clarity around the plan, gives them the ability to, at a bird's eye view, see how the plan is going, create the necessary changes if need be, but also celebrate the wins when you see them working within the plan as well. Create clarity in the most simplistic way possible. Like, we pride ourselves on the ease of use and the simplicity of the platform. We're feature rich with AI, API integration, templates, and so much more. But we do shroud ourselves in the way that we can simplistically upload your information, get you rolling straight away, and get the team ingrained in the platform really quickly. Adoption is the key, and we pride ourselves on that in the Empiraa platform. maybe if you want to jump into what you do, if you want to share your screen, you might have more success than myself.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. So what I was going to do, what Reach does in this context is it provides the insight and the foundation of language and awareness so that there's enough psychological safety in the team that the manager can say, when things aren't going to expectation, we're able to say, is this a skill thing or is this a strengths thing? Like, are we simply in a place where we're allocating you 80% of your work is stuff that drains you, right? And if we gave you the ability to have a different blend of work in your day, you could be a high-performing, proactive person that brought their A game and contribute more. So in our case, so what we would do to support that conversation, because it's all good in principle, and we've all got strengths, but unless there's a framework and a language, right, and a tool, you can't bring it to life, right? So I'll just share my screen real quick. This is the Reach dashboard, right? So we've got all these different parts that provide leaders with tools for every step of leadership. What I'm going to duck into, so I've got in a different tab, is this strength search, right? So what we're talking about there is it's like, I want to find a person with a particular type of personality, which we can do. Counselors are the warm, people-oriented, detail-oriented people. Coaches are the big picture, outgoing, let's go, people-oriented people. Drivers are the let's get stuff done, like outcome-oriented and driven. And advisors are the outcome-oriented and detail-oriented, methodical people, right? So we'll stay on them. We don't need to pick any of those. We can just go straight to here. But let's say they're confident in maybe exercising control over processes, right? So they're going to have a process and they're going to follow it and they're going to make sure that it's all done right. And then that have, tend to be cautious and careful, right? So we don't want the person that's enjoys a fluid environment and is comfortable with risk, right? For this particular thing, we want someone that's like that, right? And who have we got? We've got these three people. So when we've got tasks that aren't being executed well, or we've got people that are just dragging their feet, and what we want to do is look inside our team for people that are going to have specific skills, abilities, or preferred ways of working, then we want to be able to dig straight into that and we can find them, right? So instead of having this, that's why we talk about tools for leadership, right? It's not leadership development, right? And it's not, it's just like literally, I need to work, I need to do my job effectively. Can you give me tell me to delegate well? Well, here's a tool, right? That's what that's what Reach is all about. When we talk about Reach, what I'm talking about here is strengths, right? Strengths stuff is helping people work in the way that they contribute most naturally, have most creativity, and lean into. However, we also know that people just can't always do and spend all their time doing the things that they do best. Life's not like that, right? And also, our jobs change all the time, and the people we work with change all the time. So the other part of being a high performer is improving your agility to adapt to different people, different tasks, and different situations. And that we call growing your reach. So we have these two lenses, right, where we both hire and delegate based on strengths, because that's where people will simply be most engaged and give their A game. But we also have to help them be able to do the things that don't come naturally, because that's how the world is, right? So we've got these two different lenses. What we would do is give people their own personally curated learning, which develops their skills, develops their agility to adapt to different people, tasks, and situations, right? So the system instantly shows leaders how to identify people with different skills in their team. But then, let's say we use the Reach things during recruitment, that would mean that, and that would help the leader have a better quality interview, right? So they can talk about the person, like dig into and understand the person's strengths. They can explain what the role is going to feel like, right? So they can hire a person that's going to come onto their team and be easy to manage because they love what they do. Actually, let me ask you a question, man. Here's a pop quiz. This is in flow, but pop quiz. What percentage of people do you think go and look for a new job because they don't think there's development opportunities at their current job? How many? What's that? So if you're going to go, the main reason someone's leaving,
I would say what, 30%?
You are a brainiac. It's between 30 and 32%. So exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So when a hiring manager is sitting in front of this applicant, right, and they're doing this strengths-based interviewing because they've got this tool that helps them do that, because we've got the person to do their reach assessment as part of the process. So we've got this really high quality interview. We go, yeah, you're actually going to fit in and you're going to love our version of software development or our version of vet nursing, whatever it is, right? And they can say to them, listen, the day you join our team, we're going to invest in your personal and professional growth. We're going to give you personally curated learning that will help you improve your agility to adapt to different people, tasks, and situations. We're going to invest in your growth from day one, right? And we do that by giving them this dashboard, right, which reminds them of their personality style, their current zone of agility. So we're going to help them grow this zone to have more awareness and skills to make it easier to move into these different behavioral styles. We do that by helping them recognize their current skills, their current, the strengths of their personality, but then we give them their own personally curated learning resources, which include like micro-learning content, right? So they can learn right there in the flow of work with little 3 to 5 minute bite-sized activities, but then provide development to help grow people's agility to adapt to different people, tasks, and situations.
Yeah, it's definitely something that is so needed in management, but also in business overall when it comes to identifying the right skill set, promoting from within, empowering the team. It's just so much there.
Well, yeah, because people make plans happen, right? So here's the thing. Here's why our partnership's good. If you have this, but you don't have the mission and the vision and the people don't see how they fit in, right? It's only half. So you need to have the other half, a really powerful partnership, because as you get a sense of it with the little visuals here, this is the people side, and people make the plans happen, right? But without a plan, people don't know where they're going. So I want Reach to kill the thing when people say, I'm tired of managing people, right? Because they've got the tools and the insights and the resources and the know-how, and it's all automated and it's easy. And so we make that go away. Do you know what I want to see Empiraa kill in the world? I remember when I was in one of these jobs where I never used to get feedback and didn't like, I was just kind of doing my thing. I remember these people used to have this sign on their desk. This lady had a sign on her desk. Was it your lack of organization doesn't turn into my urgent priority? So basically, I don't care because I do what I like. I've got my own agenda. You got your own agenda, and whatever, man. Like, don't come to me with your problems, right? Exactly. And if something like you've got where it brings to life that we're all contributing to the same things, right? We're all dependent on each other's performance and each other's contribution, right? That terrible bloody attitude, your problem's not my problem, goes away. So I think if we can have a team where there isn't actually problems, there's a journey, and we've got to problem solve and navigate it together as we go, and lean on each other's strengths and depend on each other's contribution, and we've got the clarity around that through Empiraa, and then we've got the right person in the right seat doing the right job. They're being developed, they feel valued, they're engaged. We've created an environment where they can and want to do their best work. We can make two of the most counterproductive things in business go away. That's the goal, man. Bring these two things together. That is
the goal. Then that's the gauntlet thrown down, right? Let's defeat that one business at a time. But look, I really appreciate everything that we've gotten into today. Obviously, there's going to be a part 2 and a part 3 as we, further our journey collectively. Guys, jump online. Obviously, the QR codes are on the screen now. Reach out to Reach out to Empiraa. We're both here to help you. Paul, mate, thanks so much. I really appreciate it.
Great to see you, man. Thanks heaps for the invite. I appreciate it, and it's been a lot of fun getting on to share our combined vision, and we'll go make the world a better place, man.
Good, man. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dean. Ciao.